one of motivation I went back to China. But along philosophical and historical line, and then some of the technology and the program I started in China. So many of you have not heard this XLH. I will tell you a little bit. This will start from the AlphaGo. We all know AlphaGo, and Go is a game invented in Asia, particularly in China and Japan and Korea, so many years ago, maybe 5,000 years ago. And as someone working in AI for over 30 years, I never thought it can be beaten by a computer program so soon. As a matter of fact, 5 years ago, I started a program in China called Let's Go. And I have planned to do that, beat human master in 20 years. But now it's come. What is the impact and implication for us? For us, is go to the so-called AlphaGo thesis. Because the computer come into use and IT, information technology come into use is all because of the so-called church tooling thesis. But AlphaGo will bring us AlphaGo thesis. Simply, it read IT is no longer information technology. That is past IT. IT now is new IT, intelligent technology. But we should not forget, 200 years ago, IT mean what? Mean industrial technology, that old one, old IT. And from today, IT will be parallel IT, is old plus new. And it has a very solid philosophical foundation. That is Karl Popper's 3 words. When I grew up, I only know 2 words, physical world and mental world. Word 1, word 2. But then Karl Popper, the greatest philosopher of science in the last century, said, no, we have 3 words. There's a 3rd word called artificial world. So far, used industrial technology, we developed the first word from the surface to the underneath. And we have IT developed our mental world, we have internet. And now we are ready to develop the 3rd word, the artificial world. I know many countries are still behind working on their first word. But as we said, the best strategy of defense is what? Is offense. So the best strategy to catch up is go ahead. And we have to develop our 3rd word, the artificial world. This is why artificial intelligence become the technology of the day. And this is why data become the new core, new oil, new deposit. And the population is no longer your burden. The population is your mind, is your oil, is your driving force for the future. Because if we cannot solve the sustainability problem, right? We cannot have green energy. We are going to die anyway. If we solve that, population is no longer your burden. It's your future. It's your driving force. Because we have 3 words. We have developed the 3 words simultaneously. We have to make sure the 3 words become harmonious. And actually, why we need internet? Why we need IoT? It's all because our human intrinsic need to overcome our fear, to overcome our greedy, to overcome our laziness. This is why we need we need to connect us, we need to compare, we need a common ground. And we start from what? The first grade is our transportation, move good around. And then we have energy, we need the power line, the second grade. And then we need to move the information around. This is why we start with the telephone, and then the internet. And now we need the third or fourth one, Internet of Things. And that will become the base for automation, and then the Internet of Brain. We're going to have social intelligence. And this is why I call it the Society of Mind. Now this is the book, actually 31 years ago by Minsky, Society of Mind. And the AI technology, many of the AI technologies all come from this book. Actually, very few people read it. It had 200 plus chapters. But don't worry, each chapter only have 2 or 3 pages. That 5 grade connect the 3 worlds. Each word has its own principal axis, a grade. And then grade 2, grade 4 connect. So 2 and 4 are transit. And it will move to the central one. We will be spend our main effort, our attention to the grade 5.0, the social intelligence and the society of mind, the brain internet. And actually, it's all from this Carl. And it has a very special relationship with China, because there's another Karl Marx. We all know it, right? Know him, right? As a Chinese, when I grew up, I always remember Wang called the kind of slogan or catchword in China is called it's harder to translate it in English, but in Chinese it's 10月革命的一声炮响，给我们送来了马克思主义。It's called how to do the translation? It's the revolution of October 4 in Russia or in Soviet Union sent us the Marxism. But the original language is much vivider than that. Yeah. Actually, like one bomb, one explosion of the bomb at the shape of the Russian sent us the Marxism. And we have, in China, we enjoy it, or we use it for 100 years already, exactly 100 years today. And this Marx he coming to this world at the year when another Marx died. He was born in 1883, and that year Marx died. But then at the year when the new China was born in 1949, he wrote a book. The name of the book is called The Origin and the Goal of History. And it said, had this concept of the axle. It said, look at the history between 800 to 200 years ago, right, before crisis. And you see the philosophy born in Middle East, in India, and in China. In China, we have Confucius, laws, and the Sun, and so on. And in Greek, we have Socrates, we have Plato, we have Aristotle. And it's a great awakening of humanity, and we have great philosophers. And we still enjoy this access, but my theory is no. Each word, we have 3 words, each word has its own axis. And the second word, mental word, We have the access already. It's from Renaissance to Einstein. It's the great awakening of rationality. And this is why we have the science, right? And we have Newton, we have Einstein, and so on. Then, in the third world, we should have our own access. And I think it's just started. It started from Goldil's theorem of incompleteness. And it said that the rationality is limited. And the mathematics, we all know mathematics. No, mathematics has its own intrinsic contradiction. Mathematics has its own problem. No one can solve it. And this is why Turing this concept of intelligence. He wrote this article on the computing machinery and intelligence in 1950. And this is why we have artificial intelligence. And this is why we have robotic technology. And this is why today every company is trying to move to AI. And we have to realize this is a new age. The Google and the Baidu in US, in China, it should not view it as just another company. It's this type of company and the old-fashioned company, the difference is like 200 years ago. The modern steel company, the difference between modern steel company and the small shop at the countryside. They're going to revolutionize everything. And then at each axis, axle age, right, we have our own globalization. Like in the end of the first axis, right, China started the so-called Asian Silk Road, but no technology to support it. In the second axle age, right, in the beginning, China started this 郑和下西洋. So we have our own, Chinese start their own navigation journey, but not much success. Then Columbus had his grand geological discovery. He found India. He found India in US. Wrong? No. It made a correct development for the human history, right? And this is why we have United States in America. And then, at the end of World War, Marshall Plan to make the free trade become a fashion of the world. But to me, the first globalization is negative sum. And aggression is not a good thing, you all realize it today. And the free trade is zero sum. But we should have an intelligent globalization, positive sum, multiple way, and inclusive. And this is why I support China's Road and Belt Initiative. I hope it really make all the country benefit. It's not who become who's a slave or whatever. It should be positive sum, should be multiple way, and should be inclusive. You need new technology, the smart technology, the intelligent technology, the new IT to support that. And we should, the physical world is bound to be negative sum. The mental world, we can have the zero sum. But in the artificial world, you can have something from nothing. We are bonded for the positive sum. And so this is new age, new thinking, and I hope new result. And we come here to talk about Industrial 4.0. But I said actually we should do 5.0. Why? Each grade corresponding one industrial levels. We all know the industry started with steam machine, right? Steam engine. And this is why the university have the mechanical department, mechanical engineering. But how many of them still study steam engine? And then we have motors, industrial 2.0. And this is why the university have EE, the electrical engineering. And we have computer. And the university have the computer science, computer engineering department, right? Not many of them study computer anymore. And in China, we started the College of IoT, Department of IoT. That is CPS, Cyber Physical System. That is Industrial 4.0. But the Beijing University, Xiamen University already started Department of Intelligent Science and Intellectual Engineering. I consider them as 5.0. And China also this year pushed for the effort to list intelligent science and intelligent technology as independent field of study, field of engineering, and there will become so-called level 1 field in the Chinese higher education systems. And actually, the core of Industrial 4.0 is ICT plus CPSS. But the interpretation for I is information, the older way is information and communication. But to me, today's interpretation should be intelligence and connectivity. And the CPS is interpreted as cyber physical system, but to me should be cyber physical social system, CPSS. And this different interpretation leads you to different action. The older one is still industrial automation that brings us from the agriculture age to industrial age, right? But then this new understanding will bring in knowledge automation, which is automation of intelligence, another interpretation of AI, and that will bring you to Industrial 5.0. And actually, English industry, you have S. If you drop that S, it's become Germany. So we have, actually, I really like the idea of 4.0, but it's